What's up, boys? Today we're going to be practicing a few start techniques because this is my biggest issue in MX bikes right now. So we're trying a few different things. Oh my gosh, I had to double clutch. Honestly, I felt like that was a pretty good start. We're going to do a few races. I've got hit in the rear. Okay. We're going to do a few races and try and work on our first laps as well as our starts to see if we can improve that. In aerial, that has really been the things I've been, I don't even want to say struggling with. It's just like, I don't know what to do, if I'm being honest. I've never really practiced starts. Something in the 250 class, I learned that like you don't really need, at least for me to have, you know, decent results. I never really had to have good starts. I felt like I could always kind of just come through the pack no matter what, just by being consistent. And in the 450 class, everyone is just so fast that is just not the case. And you really have to get a decent start and you have to sprint. In my heat this last week, I will admit that the biggest flaw that I made was, you know, I just kind of was circulating, figuring that my consistency would pay off because that's how it was in the 250 class. And I think my fastest lap was like a 57 in the heat, which is really slow. It's like 3 seconds off of what I was doing in quali, which isn't abnormal, I guess, you know, but I guess at the same time, it's pretty slow when everyone else was still running, you know, within a second or maybe a second and a half of their quali time. So yeah, I don't know. I really need to work on kind of my intensity in the race. I got a bad start in the LCQ and decided to just absolutely send it and go for it in the LCQ, and I worked up from last all the way up to 5th. I did end up crashing, and I ended up getting 9th or something. I thought I got 5th, but I think on cuts or something I finished 9th. But so like I definitely have the speed, and man, we've been doing some of these races with you know stacked kind of pro lobbies, and I can win them in E-Road. It's not an E-Road issue. It's not really anything other than my first lap. I'm usually like 10 to 20 seconds farther back than I should be. And that's just really not acceptable in the 450 class. So yeah, today we're going to focus on that. This is race 1. Obviously not a great start, not a great opening lap, but we did get the win. So let's see if we can improve on that. I'm going to try a few different techniques. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to hold, push forward and wide open in third and see how that does for a start. Honestly, that wasn't bad either. What I did the first time was, hold on. Oh man, I got to clean up, dude. I got to clean that up too. What I did the first time was hold walking forward and start in second leaning forward, you know, maybe 80% throttle. That time I was wide open in third. And I think that was probably a better drive. I kind of got pulled on. I did double clutch in the first race, but I think that was probably the fastest. And I think that's what most people do, is just kind of hold the bike wide open in third on a 450. But I learned this recently. Now, people have been telling me this for a really long time, but you have to hold your walk button forward against the gate, and it helps you get that like little pop forward. And I think, you know, you don't really spin as much. I think this next race, what I'll do is I'm just going to hold it wide open in third and not walk forward and see if I can't just get, you know, purely off of reaction. You know, reaction time, and see if that works. But I think that holding your walking button forward really, you know, really helps. If you guys don't know what your walk button is, I think it's a push bike in the, you know, in your settings. And you basically, as soon as the 15-second card comes up, you just walk forward against the gate, and it won't jumpstart you if you do it after the 15-second card goes up. If you do it before the 15-second card goes up, you're kicked. And you will definitely get a jump start. But everyone seems to be doing it, and I feel like it's one of the main reasons I'm getting just absolutely gapped on the start. But like, then I'm also really struggling with, I am racing EU because of the times, and I really don't want to be racing at like 10 o'clock at night. But I really wonder, man, like, is the ping affecting me where even if I do get a good jump, like the netcode's so bad when you have bad ping that, like, am I just getting cooked? And should I do more of like the guys from Australia or the guys from New Zealand? What they do is they basically just wait the whole, like, they let everybody go and then just cut up underneath, because their ping is so bad that they're literally like, it's impossible for them to get a start because they just don't know where everybody is because of the netcode. So I'm wondering if maybe I should try that, but I'm also nervous. Like, the 450 class is so good that it kind of feels risky. Like in the 250 class, it didn't really feel that risky to kind of let everybody go. In the 450 class, it feels real risky to just, you know, let everybody go, because if they do get through clean, then you're cooked. But I don't know. That's the only thing I need to figure out. If I can get a start, man, we can definitely run. I think, like, I don't think a top 10 in the 450 class is really even, you know, too far out there. I think I could get like a 7th to a 10th. I think anything over that's going to be really tough, and I'm going to have like the perfect race ever, and some things are going to have to kind of fall in my lap. You know, a 7th to an 11th or 12th, I definitely think is possible. And, you know, same thing with Troy. You know, I feel really bad for Troy because Troy is like one of the most consistent dudes in the game, and he's just struggled in the heats and the LCQs as well. But like, I think Troy is absolutely a top 10 guy if he can get into the main. I don't really play the game a lot online anymore. Pub lobbies are just not super fun, in my opinion. Usually they're really toxic unless you can get a good start, but based off of this video, we know I'm not doing that. And then it's just like a punt, you know, everyone's just punting you 24/7. And so I don't know, but I've been kind of forcing myself this week a little bit to play, and by that I mean I've done like maybe 6 races this week online. I haven't really been playing much, but all right, let's try a different strat in race 3. All right, boys, we're just gonna do 3rd gear wide open here, leaning forward just a little bit. Oh wow, yeah, I'm getting pulled on 250s right there. Oh, we are gonna be able to tuck underneath. Oh yeah. Okay, the E-road is actually pretty high in this server too. It's at 1, which usually it's at like 0.2. And this is a 10-minute plus 2 lap race. So this is gonna be kind of a good test for us to see how do we do in E-road, maybe late into a main event. This is, you know, this is gonna be a 12-minute race with really high E-road. So yeah, I'm curious to see how this goes, but lonk in, brothers. I think as far as starts goes, I would say I've definitely learned that holding forward 3rd gear wide open is the move. That's what I'll be trying in the heats. Like I said, I've only done 3 starts, really like 3 or 4 practice starts. So I don't really know, but you know, this is 3 or 4 more practice starts and way more information than I had going into round 1 or round 2. You know what's crazy is like there's guys in this game that like low-key be practicing starts. You know, they get like a team and they be sitting there grinding starts together like we're at. Oh no, that's just crazy work. I just could not be me. But there are also guys that are winning and getting good starts, so maybe it should be me. Right now it looks like the track is holding up pretty good. Hopefully it stays like that. I mean, I'd like it to get a little rough. I think it's going to start here. Yeah, we're obviously only 1 lap in. It is on 1 though, which is pretty high. Like I think Ariel's running 0.25 or maybe 0.3. They made a joke threatening that they were going to go up to 0.35, which doesn't sound like a big change, but yeah, it's a lot. But I've been doing, you know, last week after, I guess it was over the weekend after San Diego, I was doing quite a bit of, you know, just E-road testing. I was doing servers and we were running in the E-road, and I honestly feel fine in E-road. You know, it's a little bit challenging at times, obviously, but I don't feel like, I don't know. I had somebody message me and were like, yeah, you need to do some E-road testing. That's why you suck in the heats. And it's like, bro, it has nothing to do with the E-road, in my opinion. I just suck in the heats because I can't get a good start. and I didn't realize the pace of the 450 class was really high and everyone's really consistent. I mean, I guess I kind of figured that, but I also didn't really put that into practice because I'd only ever raced pro 250 races, so I just really wasn't sure. But you know, I think this week the thing I'm gonna go into A2 with is, bro, you gotta come out just absolutely, you just gotta go for it. There's no being consistent, at least on a track like this. I think on A1 you could have taken the more I'm gonna be consistent approach because that track was a lot more difficult, I think. Oh my goodness. Whereas here on San Diego, this track's pretty straightforward. You know, most people are able to go pretty fast on this track, and there's not a lot of places to crash, you know, short of basically what I just did there is coming up short on the triples or, you know, in the whoops. But if A2 is technical like A1, then you can kind of do the more, you know, slow down, let the race come to you even in the heats. But even then, I think still my pace needs to be a lot higher than it has been at all. And I'm very, you know, I feel like I'm capable of the pace, and I can show that in qualifying by qualifying pretty high. I mean, pretty high for me. I think I qualified 20th, which, you know, coming into this season, I was curious if I was even going to be qualifying because I just really wasn't sure I was at. So to be qualifying 20th and then, you know, being able to go faster than that right after qualifying is, I think, pretty good for me. That's honestly, that's kind of where I would qualify in 250s, and I ended up like 7th in points. I would still qualify pretty far back. I've never really been super good at qualifying. I just need to come out and just come out a little bit more intense, I think, in these races, you know what I mean? And I'm ready to do that. I would love to start getting in some of these races. I don't really care. That's another thing with Ariel is I haven't really put as much like time into the game. I've been really enjoying making videos, and I have a lot of really fun video ideas. If you guys haven't seen the last video I put out, which was, you know, ranks versus the rank that players versus the rank that they quote unquote deserve. That was a really fun video to make, kind of doing stuff with the community. I have way more ideas like that, you know, community related videos that I really want to do. And that's really where, like, I don't know, the passion has been recently is just, yeah, I don't know, making videos. I've been really enjoying making thumbnails lately. Just like the creative juices in that aspect are really flowing. And yeah, I feel really creative lately and want to do different things, and kind of tired of the typical MX bikes grind that everyone does, right? Where everyone starts out making, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Everyone starts out making track videos, and then maybe we move on to race videos, and then the goal is to get into aerial, and then, you know, everything's kind of centered around the pro races. I'm kind of just over it. To be honest, I've done it for a few years now, and just, I feel like the community needs it. It needs something different, and maybe I'm the only one that feels like that, but I feel like we're growing the communities to a point where, like, we've got to start doing something different, or we're gonna kind of become, I don't know, like, I don't want to say the game's going to become irrelevant, because there's people killing it. Troy, Linz, all, you know, Smokes, all these guys are killing it, and they're doing really, really good. I just feel like MX Bikes as a whole needs something different and new and fresh, and I'm really excited to do that, and I have a lot of ideas in that way. And so that's, I don't know, it's kind of been my focus recently. It's been really fun to kind of, I don't know, in the past when I've made videos, it's always been like, I don't know, I'll come up with a video idea. Like, I've had this idea, you know, working on starts basically ever since San Diego, and, you know, I'm recording all these videos in the same hour, and then we're gonna edit it and put it together in, you know, the next couple hours. But those other videos, like say the ranked one I was doing, those videos those videos take a lot of time, and it's more of like a project, you know, like a 3 to 5 day project. And since I'm looking at it more of like a project, I can put a lot more effort into the editing and the audio, and just, you know, kind of think through things a little bit better. Even the script, putting more effort into, and, you know, rewriting things and retaking things rather than it just being kind of typical first take, here's a race, raw stuff. It's more highly polished, if you will. I've been really liking that side of content recently, and yeah, just kind of want to keep that going. This guy is a lapper, and suddenly it's just ripping, was, you know, got lapped, and then all of a sudden is right behind me. So that's funny. But yeah, I don't know, like, I feel pretty good in E-Road. Obviously I've made a few little mistakes here and there, but for the most part, man, I feel like speed is there, consistency is there. I mean, I could always be more consistent, but considering my consistency last year in 250, I don't know, man. Like, I feel a lot better on the game. This is kind of the best I've felt on the game in a really long time, if not ever. I think if I was to race Doc that was going up against, you know, all the guys in the land, I think I would be so much, like, I would do so much better right now than I did back then. I think I'm a lot faster, a lot more consistent. Obviously I have way more hours on the game than I did then, so that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. A2 looks pretty cool. Back-to-back whoop sections. I tend to be pretty quick in whoops, and so I'm hoping that that, you know, kind of helps me, I don't know, do really well at A2. The track looks simple, I guess, but this track looked kind of boring when I saw the track map, and it honestly is kind of boring. Like, just the layout itself, this track is just pretty, oh, okay. I thought we were gonna let off, but we're not letting off there, Mr. MT Davin. Okay, now we're gonna come over. Oh my, and then that guy's, all right. Well, this is why we don't play pubs, boys, because it's just a very interesting world that we live in. But yeah, A2's looking pretty fun, and I'm excited to try and qual and try and race. I'm hoping to get my PC back here in a couple weeks. I know it's been a really long time, and when it does, what I'm really wanting to do is get back to streaming. I just don't feel like I'm really capable of doing streams how I want to do them on this current PC. So I'm just kind of waiting for, you know, my new PC to come in before we get back to streaming. And I just realized, I looked up at the pit board, we're ahead of second place by 42 seconds. That's insane. 42 seconds is absolutely wild. And I have a question for you guys. I know this is kind of all over the place. I have a question. When East comes around, do you think I should drop down and race 250 East, or do you think we should just keep going on 450? Now, I haven't made the first 2 rounds in 450. Who knows if I'm going to make round 3, and then I won't be making round 4 because I'll be in, oh my gosh, I'll be in Glendale for the race IRL. So I won't be able to even try and qualify. And it's a triple crown, so like, I don't know that I would even have made it into qualifying because it's a triple crown, or into the races because it's a triple crown. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of going back and forth. I don't want to be like a quitter and be like, oh man, 450 was just too hard, so I dropped down the 250 East. But maybe it would be more fun and there would be more content if I was actually like in the races. I think 250 East seems pretty stacked too. I'm gonna be honest though, I haven't touched these bikes, these beta 19 bikes, the 250s. Literally haven't touched them, so I have no idea what bike's good or if I'm even good on them. I would assume, because I have so much time on a 250, that I could probably pick it up pretty quick, you know, get a setup from one of the boys and, you know, be able to get through the whoops, and the rest is just kind of corner speed and stuff, which should be fine. But I don't know, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I love you guys and thank you, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this content.